Hey team, so let's do now a review of your work. Again, thanks for sending the videos. It's all good progress. So in the beginning you mentioned about the prop firms, and yeah, that's great that you clarified. Of course, I remember about this goal. However, this is at the time where I just want to say you something really important. Okay, so please just listen and try to believe me. Okay, just try to believe me at this time. If we are talking about the prop firms, think for yourself what prop firms are working for you and what against you. Yeah, because if a prop firm has a time limit, how do you think why? I mean, did you ever think why they have a time limit? Okay, of course there are so many prop firms with time limits on evaluations, is that we kind of get it for granted. But let's think, they give us like 30 or 60 calendar days, yeah, and they say pass the challenge. Calendar days, not even trading days. For most traders, this is a direct trap and a really nice business for the other side. So in my opinion, in my experience, in the beginning I was also like really fascinated by these prop firms that has these time limits. And by the way, you see, they play on our ego. Yeah, so if you have 30 days, now you will find many people that will try to pass in 1 day, in 5 days, in 10 days. Okay. But what if the conditions of the market during this month that you are trying to pass your first phase are just not optimal? There can be a lot of reasons for that. Or maybe your life is too busy, so maybe you thought that you will be all right during 1 month or 2 months, but then something comes in and you are busy, you are distracted, maybe you got ill, and you just have no time. So you need just to realize, and again, this is a topic for one-on-one discussion, but it's just so important. Think for yourself deeply. Does it work for you or against you? For many people, it works against them. Okay, it gives them additional, not necessary pressure of time limit. And this student Zoey that I worked with, she passed MFF that has time limit. Yeah. And she passed her first phase in the last day of first phase. Imagine the pressure. And if she was not lucky, I guess in a way she was lucky, yeah, to get her setup, she would just spoil all the days. And then on her second phase, she finished one trade with 0.5% below the profit target. And she had only one or 2 weeks to finish the challenge. And then 1 week she was busy. She had this wedding of her brother or something like that, so she couldn't trade. And then she had basically 1 week, and in this week she had a holiday on Monday, a holiday, bank holiday, with poor trading conditions. So what do you think is the pressure? And now imagine she is losing this great evaluation period just because of time limit. Yeah, just because time limit. And compare it to other prop firms that don't have time limit. You can just sit on your hands for 1 month and then just wait for your setup. So this is so great. I mean, people just don't realize that prop firms are great ways of making a business. And that, so in my eyes right now, I do not support my students who are in the prop firm challenges that have time limits. So it's their personal choice, but I would never recommend it. And I would only support you and guide you, to be honest. This is kind of my principle now, if you choose a prop firm with no time limit. Now, is it realistic to have this time purpose, and is it possible? Yes, of course it's possible, but it gives you so much pressure, and people just even don't realize. They think that they will handle it, but again, the conditions are just too hard for most of the systems. Yeah, they claim, these prop firms, they claim that they are suitable for most systems, but if you're trading 4 hours, you can have 3 setups in 1 month, or maybe 5 setups. And I mean, it's possible, of course. Our system that we are trading, it can relatively easy give you regular 5 hours, 5, 3, 7 hour, and that's enough. But then you need either to risk more or to constantly force yourself to trade. It does not work like that in trading. It's crazy. I don't know why people do it. So that's why what I would recommend is to use one of the prop firms I have for you. So City Traders Imperium, this is what I'm personally right now in the challenge, one more challenge with them. You see, no time limit, no minimum trading days, one phase, so 9% profit. So this is a prop firm that is working with you, for you. Now man funding, no minimum or maximum trading days, one step evaluation. This is someone who is working for you. Audacity, no time restrictions, no minimum trading days. Funded Academy, so you can pause and read for yourself. Unlimited time, minimum trading days. This one, Funded Traded Plus, no minimum trading days, single phase, no time limit. So these are the prop firms that I recommend, especially first two, this one and this one. Believe me, if you choose these firms, you will feel and you will do much better. And then when you will have this account with no time pressure, you can refine your system to maybe risk a bit more, maybe trade a bit more, and so on, and then go for your two-step evaluation. But if you will have a good account from this one, you will not need anything else. And again, coming back to your clarification, yeah, you said I don't need profit, I want to trade with a prop firm. Yeah, but then what is the purpose with trading with a prop firm? You need profit in the very so anyway, I mean, our ultimate goal is profit, and we need prop firms that are that have good conditions. Again, it's possible in many prop firms, but just I don't see any reason to go for time limit. Okay, and again, for the future, I will not consult you or support your challenges from the prop firms from with time limit. So you can do 2 of them if you really want, but again, if you really think about it, you will understand that you will just pay them money and you will just do business for them. Okay, so yes, this is my little rant on prop firms, and again, we will come back to it during 101 because this is extremely important thing, extremely important. Now this thing that you did when you really went in detail how the market developed, this is okay, but this is even more simplified backtesting. Yeah, what you needed to do, of course, is just choose a trend and just know that it goes up and then start backtesting. That's okay. That's okay. What you did, you went ahead, tried to see more details, and then went and tested it. But of course, for the next time, it just does not make sense because it's too simple. Again, as for the change of character, I don't use a change of character, so I even don't know what is a change of character for you. Yeah, so if you are using this term, make sure you are separating it, or maybe it's just a break of structure for you. Yeah, but just don't use unnecessary terms. So if you want to use it, that's fine with me. Just make sure you understand what the meaning behind it. And of course, for the uptrend, again, yes, we see that this is a beginning of the uptrend, but actual trends are much deeper, of course, and this could be a redistribution easily from this kind of movement. But this is something that we need to discuss later, of course. This is just a small detail. So here, concerning the root of the move, yes, the price didn't come back all the way to refined zone, and it does not happen sometimes. It's actually more often than not. The price will not come back all the way to the root of the move. Again, something for the future. You can see some kind of a chain here of supply and demand, because what the price did, it created this down move, then went up here with this candle and created this down move. So once the price went above, it already mitigated this. So basically the last unmitigated part was this one and this one. So this is the logic behind why the price actually mitigated it. You see, if you see more details behind the chains, then again you can see the logic of price movement a bit better. But again, it's not that necessary right now, but I just want to share this little detail. Yeah, so for instance here, why the price made the move to here? Because as you can see, all these candles are mitigated one after another. But then here we have this small imbalance. So we have this small imbalance. And this zone was the last unmitigated zone, and it had a tap. So as for this move, I don't know if you watched my weekly recaps and this last playlist about accumulation, reaccumulation, and I will need to add more details of it. But this move is not bad or anything. It's completely natural. And yes, you can use 50% to explain it, but even better way is just to see this price action as a model of reaccumulation. So what it means is that, remember, when the market creates one break, second break, third break, fourth break, fifth, now what can you expect after this kind of price action and for this low? Yeah, do you expect it now to go even higher or do this reaccumulation? Remember the model of reaccumulation, something like this. So this is a really natural, really common thing in the markets. Yeah, so this is how it looks like: up, 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 one down, or even second down, or even third one down, but still holding the whole move, and then up as a confirmation. It's a model of reaccumulation in the market. The root of this move is actually on a fractal perspective, yes, maybe this one, but specifically on this time frame, you have one move inside structure and second move. So this is the root of this move, and this is the root of this move. Yeah, and here just a small notice, you just have this bearish impulse, and this is the root of this bearish impulse. And here, this is a development of inside structure, which is tradable, especially if you are watching the higher time frames. Actually, you can lead yourself with inside of fractal structure, that's fine. Especially if you have higher time frame bullish bias and models playing out. And yeah, definitely here you mentioned about the small downtrend. Like yes, you can look at it like this. It's pretty clear. And overall, this kind of price action could be treated depending on where we are in the market in the moment as an accumulation or distribution. Because why? Because we have back and forth. So when you have back and forth, you overall suggest either accumulation or distribution. So for instance, but you can add the last break to give you at least some confirmation. So for example, you have this down break, then a fractal break up, break up, break up, maybe some fractal breakdown, up, down, down, down. So at this point, you can, if you don't know the price, you can say, okay, it can be, I can suggest distribution. I have this structure confirming my idea at this moment, or even at this moment and this moment, and you can trade some shorts. But then later, when you have this break occurred, then you need to understand that the model is now being changed, because you still have the overall bullish bias from higher time frame. Now you have back and forth, which resulted in the last up move, and this up move is now confirming more an accumulation model to the reaccumulation in the future. So we didn't break actually here, you see, we didn't have a break, only fractal one. This is not a break here.
This one exactly matches.
Yeah, I mean, of course, because we are mitigating this bigger zone, now we are mitigating it here. So yeah, now you can see we have a break, not a break, just so this break with this one impulse, and now what is this one? So if this is the low, so this is reaccumulation, yeah, reaccumulation happening after accumulation. The root of this move, if we follow the pullback rule, then it will be this one. So not this one, but this one as the root of the move. Of course, we have this fractal bigger zone, but it's just too big. So this is the root of the move. This is fractal shift, internal shift, and so on.
Exactly back into this one. So after this one, I'll have to stretch this out a bit. We came down here. This is all intermediate structure within this area here, so I wouldn't. Probably it is even the intermediate structure somehow fits to this one, as this is the root of the move that pushed the price up here above this one, and then came exactly back to this one, and we broke completely to the upside, making this very strong move here. So this was the very strong move here, coming even up more, making this structure breaking to the upside, coming down here, reacting from this one a little bit to the upside, and then breaking lower, and then breaking higher. So when we broke higher here, that makes this whole thing as the root of the move. And it is even respected, because if we take this one here, I see this highest point here is respected here. So this looks like it fits. We had this intermediate structure here, which lasted for some days. After this one, so this would be the high, this would be the low of this area. What price?
So again, I wanted to just present you a bit, more and more with this thinking in models, because it will give you much better understanding of the context. Yeah. So again, what the market is doing, moving up, then fractal down, maybe even a bit below it, reaccumulation, again up, up, up. This is a natural move for the market. Then internal structure shifts. Again, up, 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 up. What can we expect here? We can first expect, so if this portion is this one, we can expect some reaccumulation, or we can expect back and forth, which now we don't know what it is, because it can be a distribution now, especially after this break. So we can suggest some distribution, and especially because we already had back and forth before, so on fractal perspective, it will be also like back and forth here before this. So maybe it could be a distribution, but of course you need to take in consideration higher time frame. And then with a breakup, you can say, okay, now this can look like accumulation, and then trade it, or wait for a decisive break for like really confirming that this was accumulation. Maybe trade here, or wait for new accumulations like here. And again, for the downtrend, I would not say that this moment can be considered as a downtrend. At this point, it is still in the model of reaccumulation mostly, yeah. because what you have here is a move up, 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 and then one down, basically. And before that, you also had like up and down, up and down, up, up, up. So this specific part is reaccumulation. This part, yes, it can be treated as distribution because it has down, up, so kind of back and forth, but just stretched overall. And this kind of distributions are possible if you and it's possible to suggest, because again we were schematics, they are overlapping, and depending on the area that you are looking at, they can be interpreted in different sites, and then you wait for your lower timeframes to give you some confirmations of your ideas. But again, if we are talking about the downtrend, then this is really early place to call it a downtrend. Maybe after this break, and especially after this one, we can say that this can be some kind of a downtrend, but still we're still holding this overall move. So for me, downtrend, to be honest, if I want to call something a downtrend, I would wait for, first of all, for a break of some significant higher time frame zone, okay, and then maybe redistribution with confirming again to the bearish side. So this place for me is probably a downtrend. I'm not, by the way, telling that it's not tradable before to the downside. Again, remember for your next backtest, so this, what you did is like really simplified. So for your next test, just take a downtrend and click, and that's all. You will do your like post backtest analysis and then analyze the trend. When you already worked with it, it will be more beneficial. Yeah, so this is a good example of accumulation or distribution. We don't know what is happening here. It's just back and forth. And now we need confirmation. So at this point, it's more likely to become an accumulation in an overall up move. Yeah, nice notice that this is internal structure. So this is still valid. Yes, this is still valid, of course, to look at. But you don't need to forget that it is still the overall condition at this point, as you can see, is basically we don't know what is happening here. So we can trade it, but it's not the best condition to trade. Yeah, if anything, you have so if you just disregard for a second this a small pullback and see it maybe as a move from 2 hours, then it's even more like a distribution right now, because you are here. Before you had up, down, and now down again on like internal structure. Yeah, so at this specific point, it's more likely a distribution to go down. So again, I don't want you to now like think too much about what I'm saying right now. This is something for the future, but this is like an introduction, yeah, that you can use more thinking in models to give you more context on overall. But in simple words, if you can see what is happening in the market, and if you ask yourself what is happening, where the market is going, basically it's not going anywhere. It's just this one. It's not looking like this, for example, yeah. This is not looking like this. Again, it's fine to trade it, but just understand that in this kind of condition, in this kind of condition, you will be more likely to be liquidated to the both sides. Or then you can maybe use smaller risk to reward in this kind of rangy price action, or maybe trail more aggressively or something like that. And this is like a classical dilemma. What you should do when you want to have more early entries. Yeah. So if you look at this portion of price action, this is clearly just a redistribution. Why? Because starting from here, we are going down. So down, down, down. So I just disregard this. We go down, and now we are going up, and up. Basically, if we put it on schematic, we have up and up. So down, 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 up, up. This is a redistribution model. If you imagine that this pullback happened in a bit different manner, so something like this, started to go down, 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 up, maybe up, down, up. So now coming to this place. Yeah, this is down, now up and up. So this is more likely to be accumulation already, yeah, because you have back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and now a switch to the upside. But here it's more likely to be even a redistribution at this point. Of course, I'm disregarding this factor, but if you want to use this so early, then I would recommend to use the most refined zone, especially if you are here. And especially if it looks like a redistribution, then at least you can be more safe when you are trading with from a refined zone. Or if you want a simpler solution, then just wait for later entries. So just enter here when you already understand that this is probably was an accumulation. Now it is confirmed. So you see what the market did. It's just confirmed a redistribution, and that's all. So the root of the move would be this one, based on the rules, because of this pullback. Not this one. This is just a big fractal zone. And let's see how the price reacted here. By the way, in this area, you had this root of the move. Price went up, went down straight for the mitigation, and then up again, leaving this imbalance. And this is what became mitigated. You see, so this was the chain: down move, up move, down move into this one. Yeah, and pay attention how the price developed until this moment. So at this moment, at this up break, was it an up break, by the way, structurally? Oh, actually structurally, yeah, it was. This was the first up break. So what is the difference between this one and that this previous area that you were looking at? So can you pause the video and just tell me what the difference between this one and this? So what is the difference between this one and that one? So if first of all, I don't know if we have a high time frame zone here, but if you look at how the price developed here, you had some breakups, breakdowns, breakups here, breakdowns, up again on a fractal basis, down, and then break up. So if you put it on a schematic, you have like down, up here, then down again, up, down, up, down and up. So overall, this portion is much more likely an accumulation than this previous that you looked at, which was just down, 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 and then up, and maybe up. So you see the difference between this up break and this up break. Plus, this move is much more clear compared to that previous one. Previous one was just this kind of breaks. And again, sometimes this works well if they are clear, but at that specific moment, it was something like this. So just candles stacking near each other, and that's all. So pay attention to this difference. And again, let's just use root of the move as per rules. So the root of the move is when you have a break, and then this is the root of the move, the pullback before the break. If you have something like this is not the root of the move. This is just a big fractal zone, which you can use for overall context, but usually they are not good for trading. So for instance, this is the move, this is a big zone, and this is the actual root, because it's the last pullback before the break. And by the way, pay attention how the chain developed then. So we had a down move, mitigation, this imbalance, and it came back here, created this internal break, mitigated it, one more internal break, mitigated this one. So you see how the chain held itself up. So this price action is quite okay. Of course, it's not ideal, but just if you are picking up the zone, you need to understand that everything here is mitigated by the wicks, and this is the last unmitigated zone, which is good for what? For reaccumulation in the future. So this probably was a trade here, and how it could be possible to enter. You had this bigger zone, which was mitigated by this small move, then up break, and then mitigation of this one. So this could be a zone, or this could be a zone. So this zone could be worse to try to trade. And now this zone, what is the problem with this zone is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 breaks to the upside and pretty overextended zone with no liquidity build ups on the way down. So usually the price does not respect this kind of zones and just break to the downside. But of course we need to consider higher time frames. And just see the confirmation. If the confirmation will be there, I would give it maybe 1 or 2 tries. Yeah, so by the way, this problem with too obvious moves, you know, is that when the move goes like this, and then like this, there is no build up in the price action. And if you look at this portion of a pullback, it will just look like what? So here on lower time frames, structural, it will look like this basically. And what is this? Is just a downwards moving market. What can you expect from this price action? First, you can expect this. Second, you can expect this. So you see, in this kind of fast pullbacks, again, I'm not saying that they're not working, but they should be treated with like careful state. So for instance, this one, you see a real clear move, really fast pullback, which does not hold. And why it happens? Because if you have a slower pullback, then you will be building some accumulations possibly. Yeah, imagine this pullback if it was maybe something like this. Yeah, again, it all depends, but so this one is not even that good, but so we have an impulse, or maybe an impulse with this kind of a small liquidity here, and then something like this on a pullback. So down, up, maybe some internal breaks to the upside, and then it comes and does this. So you see, you have a build up which can be treated as accumulation in itself here. So let's see if it holds.
This move into account. Because it is this one here, but it could also be this one here for the whole swap.
So again, what is the problem with this zone is that it has no imbalances. So you see, when the move was created, this one mitigated by this mitigated by this, mitigated, break, and a move to the upside. So I would say this: if this move wants to hold, then it should hold either from here, or if it breaks, then what is the reason to mitigate? If mostly it's all mitigated, then maybe we can go and mitigate this big portion, so we have this imbalance. So probably if we break this, it does not make sense to look at this zone. Of course it can hold, but in most cases it then makes sense to wait until some better confirmations and do not try to enter here, especially if the price is moving like really fast, because we have some good zones here and we didn't see. So that's why it's important to think in models. We didn't see a reaccumulation yet, basically structurally. And we know that market tends to do it before this breaks to the upside. So this build up is actually better, yeah. So we created this low, we moved up, now we are moving down, maybe we will again move a bit up and then down again. So until this holds, this could be a try. It could be given a try at least once on 15 minutes or 5. Yeah, but now it becomes a bit too range again. It's still possible to enter somewhere, but at this point, does it make sense to enter? Maybe at least with the break of this one. But right now, you see what the price is doing. Right now, at this specific moment, it's basically going down. And your low is here. And here is your mitigated zones, which does not make sense for the price to mitigate. So, okay, and so we have a one break to the upside, but again, from the standpoint of the models, I mean, that's fine, but still we are in this move, and this is first fractal, so this is inside structure of fractal break. Again, it's more even likely to be a redistribution. And by the way, if it is, and we just skip this zone, and if it is a redistribution, then the market most likely will just break and does not give us confirmation. But of course, if we'll give it like 3 tries to buy it up, it will can damage us. And so what is the better solution? The better solution is, if we consider it as a possible accumulation, maybe then we would like to see this, maybe a small break to the downside, and then up again, maybe up, down, and then enter somewhere here. So you see, this break is much more different from this break, because this is more likely an accumulation, and this is more likely a redistribution. So again, here you're kind of like doubting, and to be honest, I would do the same, but I would use a bit different reasoning. So I would just say this: we are now stuck in the box. Okay, yes, we are holding this zone, and yes, this could be treated as some confirmation of bullishness. The zone is fine, the impulse is pretty fine. I kind of don't like the fact that we came it so fast here, and the candles are kind of a bit overextended, and they tend to wick through the zones. But again, my two main factors for doubts about this trade is this big range, which I don't know what it is. It can be a distribution, can be accumulation, I don't know, and there is no way actually to know. Maybe if you can just try, or maybe even consider some fundamentals, I don't know, or high time frames. And if we combine, so for me, as for now, it's high time frames, but by the way, I want to start to look just a little bit into fundamentals as well. But on high time frames, what do we have here? Remember, we have this up move with no reaccumulation yet happening, and if reaccumulation is bound to happen, then this is actually a high probability zone for it, because we have a good zone for reaccumulation here, just a bit lower. We have this range that could be a reaccumulation, so we have back and forth, or even a local distribution. Yeah, we have back and forth, and right now on intermediate basis we have this. So yeah, you are definitely correct. It's not the best place to trade. It's still okay, but not the best place to trade. Yeah, I mean, in this situation, this move is much better. Yeah, I agree. And the root of the move will start from this point. You see, this is the pullback, and refinements could go to this zone as the last unmitigated zone. So as for this entry, I think that's fine, you know, I think that's fine, but not like really good. Yeah, it's just okay, because of the reasons that we described, that we have this prolonged range, which is just going back and forth. We have some zones for reaccumulation, and of course this stop loss is just too big. You could easily put it here. Because if the price wants to go up, so I already know that it will go down, but if it wants to go up, then there is basically no point to keep it here. It's just too big.
Let's see how this works out. It does not work out at all. Okay, we have a stop loss hit. Why do we have this? Because I think this is probably not really bullish. So
yeah, so of course, why could we have this move? As I described, we have back and forth, so possible distribution into this area, which I mentioned before, for reaccumulation after several shifts. So yeah, maybe now from this place we will go up. Again, I don't know. I mean, I kind of know because, of course, we will go up sooner or later, but I don't remember if it will go from here or will go even lower. Yeah, so again, it all depends how you look at the models. So for instance, if we look only at this part, then this is more or less like reaccumulation. So you have up, up, basically up, not breaking structure, and now one break to the downside. So what is this? Up, 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 and down. So this is reaccumulation. If we are looking at maybe, so let's say this one, okay, maybe this one, we have so a move up basically, then down, down, up, up, down. So it's just looking back and forth with the recent bearish shift, then it's more likely a distribution. And basically same way here. Same way here, you basically just have back and forth with a recent bearish shift, so you can suppose distribution. But again, let's not forget higher time frames. Yeah, we probably have a daily move from here. We mitigated this zone here, and now the last part was a reaccumulation. Yeah, so you see, it's not like this black and white, but still overall agree. If we look only at this part, then this is more likely like a distribution and a down move. But if we consider other factors, then it still can be idea for accumulation. Is it a good idea to buy here? No, I don't think so. On 1 hour, definitely no. We need to see a development of inside structure here, of inside structure on 1 hour, or wait for this break. And then when this break happens, then all this perspective can be changed, because now it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with a move up. And now it can be considered as a possible accumulation. Again, we don't need to know for sure what the model in front of us. We just confirm ideas, because again, we can be in different models at the same time. So this is first development of fractal structure on 1 hour from a possible reaccumulation. So let's see what it will do. Okay, and this is second. So this is first fractal shift. This is now internal shift with this chain starting to build up. So for me, I would give it one try here in this zone, you know, or even in this zone. So again, it does not need to work out, but I could give it a try based on this reaccumulation plus overall bullish context. Plus, of course, we know that we are trading in a really bullish market. Okay, yeah, so this is how you can start to explain this kind of moves. And as you can see, this was the development of internal structure and mitigation of this bigger zone. So again, for me, of course, yes, I'm not pretending to be like the smartest guy in the room. I saw this video once. No, I don't remember 100% how it happened. Of course, it's all hindsight with the overall trend and so on. But this is how at least you can try to explain it and use more context to understand what is happening. And now, of course, this is a really bullish confirmation. So again, as for the uptrend, it can be a bit discretionary, but I mean, this move, especially after everything that happened here, so this initial shifts and then this clear reaccumulation here, and then confirmation with inside structure, I mean, maybe we are not in a bullish trend, but this is already really bullish price action given the higher time frame. If you want to have this high broken, that's completely fine. Then you will have even more confirmation for bullishness. So I don't know about this zone, but basically if you go to 5 or maybe 15 minutes, this zone in itself could be, so this one could be a zone to confirm, you know, on 5 minutes, because we'll make a push up. And now one more fractal break here after this break. So we have this high broken, mitigated, this big zone. Now break again. So we can give it one try here. And then if it fails, we can wait for deeper mitigation. So that's for me. Of course, perfect buys would be from these zones lower. And now after this kind of shifts, of course, you can have even more confirmation. And now what is happening here is fractal reaccumulation. You see, we have up. So we are moving how? Like up, 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 up. And now one shift down. So this is a clear reaccumulation. So now this zone can be as well a really good zone for confirmations for the long side. Yeah, and this is when you will do your post backtest analysis, these kind of zones you need to pay attention to, because this is a missed move and this is a missed move. Now what about this one? So this zone is pretty, so for me personally it's a bit too high up, but it still can be given one try. So this zone and this zone, definitely good zones to look at. Yeah, so I personally would just miss this move because for me it's a bit too high up. Now I expect something like we had before with the reaccumulation. At this moment, yes, our first expectation is for it to go to the upside, but because of so many consecutive shifts and no clear reaccumulation, maybe here just a fractal one, I would expect it even to go a bit lower. But again, it's I'm not telling it's like a main bias. So let's see. Yeah, it goes up and so right now at
so now we have,
I would maybe give it one try here at this reaccumulation, but it's a bit too high up for me. I would want maybe to look through the high through the time frames, maybe see how the 4 hours looking like, how the daily is looking like, and so on. Yeah, definitely this low you mentioned on 1 hour, this is a good opportunity, and that's completely fine to look at it.
This area.
Yeah, so for the stop losses, of course, I mean, it's your preference. You can use bigger stop losses, then you will have higher win rate, of course. But again, if we understand how the market is moving, then if it will go here, it will probably take this low, you know. If the market wants to go up, it will hold this zone or this zone. Again, this specific zone is pretty poor quality, so mitigated. But let's see. Yeah, so this stop loss I would just put it maximum here, you know. Here, I mean, it does not mean it doesn't make sense to put it lower than this one. As for me, so again, this is great entry. And by the way, I wonder if this low that I was mentioning, probably it got liquidated. Yeah, so this one was a good place, and then maybe a re-entry. But again, what is the problem with this entry? Yeah, a bit too high up. I mean, it worked real nice. If you are trailing aggressively, you have some good profits here. And I really, so you see what is the difference? If you were like trading like with a retail mindset, yeah, or with this mindset to fade the move, you will not even consider this kind of longs. You will want to fade the move and to keep it short. Many people, they just don't believe that the market can go even higher. Yeah, definitely, that's a good idea.
That break even.
Yeah, unfortunately it happens. So this is this is like the downside for the fixed are take profits, yeah, because if you were trailing, then your trailing stop loss would be here probably. So again, there are many ways to trail, but for me right now it's like with the confident breaks, and then you have at least some kind of profits, you know, to cover commissions and so on. So yeah, this again talking about the trend change, it's a bit too early for a trend change. It's just a possible accumulation because we are going like up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So this is just a possible accumulation, you know. But of course, with this confirmation now, this is a really nice place to trade. And what is this happening on 1 hour is of course a reaccumulation into higher time frame zones. So yeah, here of course you need it after this pullback. You already could go to lower time frames, maybe find something here. And yeah, so you see, if you look for instance at this pullback even on 15 minutes, so of course you are reading everything correct on high time frames, but even on 15 minutes you see the difference between this pullback and the one that we discussed before. So if you read the price, you will have up and down, up and down, up, down, and up. So you see, this is much more like an accumulation. Sorry, this weird sound is still my dog. And so for me, of course, this kind of entry is just stop loss is just huge, and maybe I would try to enter here or wait for a pullback. But this is like really big stop loss for this specific time frame because you have too many structures, you know, protecting you. So this is more an entry based on 4 hours, which is perfectly fine again. Yeah, and as you can see, you had this pullback and then inside structure here, so maybe some more precise entries. But again, you don't need actually to have like real precise entries. If you are feeling more comfortable with bigger stop loss, that is perfectly fine. Yes, definitely, this looks very good, and now you can just maybe expect reaccumulation and go up or just go up. Yeah, this is definitely a well-earned 1 to 4. Indeed, and this is, you see, this previous move that was clicked through, and did we have any possibilities? Maybe something here, so this is an early entry, then maybe something here, but I don't know. Here, no, so maybe here or here, but again we need to look more precise. And then some entries on the way up here. Yeah, so this is really nice. Okay, so this was my review, and basically I hope it was useful. Please do this post backtest analysis I mentioned in the Telegram message here. Pay attention to what I said in this review, pay attention to what I said about prop firms. Please let me know if it makes sense about the prop firms, what I said. So if you agree, if you disagree, why, that's okay for discussion, okay? So please let me know. And let's continue with the next trade. So you had 2 trades or 3 trades? 2 trades, yeah? So you still need 8 or 7.